Greetings. Thank you for joining me today for the March episode of Rhonda's Promise Resource Table. My name is Rhonda Rogers, and I am the president and founder of Rhonda's Promise, a nonprofit organization committed to the women's success located right here in South Palm Beach County, Florida. Our mission is to help connect women and girls of all ages and all stages of their lives to resources and skills that will enhance their life through education and life skills. This month, we are celebrating Women's History Month, and I'm so excited that we're doing this today on International Women's Day. I'm excited to have with me today the Supervisor of Elections, Wendy Sartory. Hello, Wendy.
Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Thanks so much for having me here.
No, thank you for being with us. We're just going to open right up with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, I'm actually a Palm Beach County native. I was born right here. I was actually born in Boynton Beach. Currently live up in the North County. Love that you're doing this right here in Palm Beach County. And so I previously was a lawyer, and back in 2019 was appointed by Governor DeSantis to come in to be the supervisor of elections. I then ran for office and was elected in August of 2020. So my legal background, I was in private practice for about 30 years, not doing anything with elections, actually was in the finance and commercial real estate area. Loved that, but have really loved the work at the elections office as well. So it's been great to be involved in different sides, on the private side and now the public. I've been always very involved in the community, always very active, although I never had any interest in public office, but had been very involved in a lot of not-for-profits and civic organizations. And so try to maintain that. It's a little busier now, so it's been a little bit harder, but I've been involved in things like the Florida Council 100, the Palm Beach County Economic Council. I'm on the board of the Y School, I think for maybe 16 or 17 years, maybe. I've been on the board of trustees for the Palm Beach State College, which is very near and dear to my heart. Involved in Executive Women, the Women's Chamber, of course, City Place CDD. So, different things like that that try to keep me grounded and keep me knowing what's happening in our community, and helps me to know, what I can do to provide services from the elections office now to different parts of our community. So I've got 3 sons. I live up in the North County, and so like I said, I've been very blessed.
Well, you are doing a lot, and I am also a boy mom, so that is good to know we have that in common as well. You're a busy, busy lady, so busy women get it done, don't we?
You know what? That's the case. It is absolutely the case. I always say, if I need something done, give me 5 women. We'll take care of anything you got.
Got that right. You got that right. So tell us a little bit of what's happening at the Office of the Supervisor of Elections.
Well, right now is an exciting time for us because we are getting ready for our municipal elections. So March 14th, we've got 17 of our cities who have elections. So all the cities are eligible to have them in March, and some end up having some, don't have anybody running against their candidates. So others are on a different cycle. So we never know each March how many cities we'll be handling. But we currently have 17. So anybody who's planning to go to the polls on election day, should remember we're open 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Yes.
on March 14th. We're really, of course, also trying to do a lot of outreach to make sure that people know. Most people voted in our elections in November, but if you didn't and you're planning to vote in March, it's really good to know that, because precincts changed after the census. We had to do redistricting, and then with redistricting came new precinct and new precinct numbers. So everybody should have gotten a card, but in case they've forgotten about that, we encourage everybody. We don't want you to go to the wrong place and be frustrated that that's not your current polling location. So make sure you're checking that. It's easy to do on our website. You can do it at votepalmbeach.gov. You can go to the My Status page. It's actually a great thing for people to do always.
Right.
Just occasionally to go on to that My Status. It's very easy. You put in your name and your birth date, and it tells you all the things we know about you, like what address we have you at, just in case you've moved but forgotten to let us know. It tells you what party we have you registered with, tells you whether or not we have vote by mail request on file for you. And then if we do, it'll tell you what day we mailed you your ballot, what day we got it back, whether there were any issues with it, like maybe you forgot to sign it or your signature didn't match, and then it'll tell you when your vote was counted. So
That
we
is-
really encourage people to get on and do that because it's a way to help take control. But it also is going to, if you're not voting by mail, it's going to tell you where your current polling location is. So
So tell me that website again.
it's votepalmbeach.gov.
All right, we got that. We got that. And so, we talk a lot about voting and why voting matters. Why does it matter to you? And why do you encourage folks to get out and vote?
It really matters. Your voice matters, and voting is the best way for you to have your voice heard in a way that has the ability to affect change, right? And so when people say, "Oh, but I'm one vote in millions," my vote's not going to make a difference. Well, look at the close elections we've had in U.S. history. There have been a number of very close elections, and so those votes did matter. And then if you look at Palm Beach County, it's even more staggering.
Closer, huh?
Right. So, and your local elections matter. So when you think about, we've had one that was a direct tie, like an exact tie, and then it went to a recount. It was still a direct tie. Yeah, and that was for a question. In that particular city, their charter said that if the question doesn't win by at least one, it fails.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So technically
one
it failed,
vote
right?
could
Yeah.
have made the difference there. We've had several, I think at least 3 elections in Palm Beach County since I've been here that have been decided by one vote. We've had a couple that were 2 votes, a couple that were 3 votes. We had a U.S. congressional race that was a joint district with us in Broward County, decided by 5 votes.
5 people made the decision.
5 votes for a congressional race that covered Palm Beach and Broward County.
Yeah.
So you think about that, your vote really does matter. And that's what I try to tell people is, if you're positive you can make it on election day, that's great. Go on election day if that's the way you like to vote. But if if you're a busy person, women sometimes are juggling a lot of different things, busy moms, during the bigger elections, you can do early voting because that's still in-person voting, but so you're going to have that in-person experience, but it gives you 2-week period to do it. Or vote by mail if you like the convenience of vote by mail. It's postage prepaid. We mail it right to you. You get it. You can look at it in the comfort of your own home, send it back to us. Like I say, you just drop it in the mailbox. You don't have to go find the postage stamps. So we try to make it as easy as we can for you to vote because it really does matter. So.
No, I agree with you. And we heard it right here. So Rhonda and Wendy say get out and vote on March 13th.
That's right. That's right. I always tell people, I really don't care how you vote, who you vote for. I just want you to vote because that's going to be how we get the best decisions for our county.
That's right. Now, how can organizations or individuals get involved and assist you? I know my organization, Delta Sigma Theta Sorority, was able to do working at the polls one term or one election cycle. So how can other individuals get involved and assist your office?
Well, we're always looking for election workers. So we've got close to 1 million voters, and it will take us for the large elections going into a presidential election, it will take us about 5,000 election workers. And people often think of them as volunteers, but they're paid. So we do pay election workers. We give you all the training that's necessary. And so we'll have 3 different opportunities in 2024 to be an election worker. So we would love it if people did it in March and then stayed for August and November, because then you've got your experienced folks out there. But even if you can't, even if you can only do it for 1 election, we would love to have you for that. Also, if you're with a group, as you mentioned, your group, we started this Adopt a Precinct program, and that's where an organization will adopt a location, and they will bring in their own workers, who will volunteer on behalf of that organization. again, we'll do all the training. We'll make sure that there's party diversity and all the things that are required for a polling location. But then at the end, rather than paying the individuals, we will pay the organization the amount that we would have been paying those individuals. So it's a great way for those individuals to get service hours or to, give to their organization of choice, and for the organization to earn some money. Plus, it gives you a little bit of, publicity in the community, depending upon what your group is. That might be important. So, and you can wear your shirt, you're there, it's great camaraderie. It's a long day, so you have a lot of togetherness time. But it's so important. And, I tell people, if you think about, Super Bowls, we inside say, this is our Super Bowl, our election days. But or any other, any organization that's going to have their biggest day of the year, they're going to have their best people who are their best trained, who are the folks that they worked with all year to get them ready for this. And we're different. We have, people who have decided to give us a day of their time. We say we do pay, but you're not going to get rich off of it. And so, they're giving us a full day of their time, plus the time it took them to get trained. And they may be out there only one day that year, maybe 2 or 3 if we're lucky. And so it's really important for us that we get great quality people who are doing it because they care about their community and want to make sure that we have great elections, because that's really what, the general public, they don't see what we're doing behind the scenes.
No.
They really determine, did I have a great election based on their interaction at that polling location?
That's right. That
And
one day.
and we want every voter to feel like I had a really great election experience. It's going to make them want to come back, and it makes them feel good about the system. And then for those who are even more interested, then we invite them back. Come back to our voting equipment center. Watch us do the tabulation. Watch us do the opening of vote by mail, because there's a lot of great opportunities. All that stuff is open to the public that a lot of people don't think about. We have behind the scenes tours. So, if Rhonda's Promise would like to grab a couple of women together and say, hey, we want to go see the behind the scenes tour, we'd love to do that for you. So you can really see, and then you get a real feel for, how do we know that you only voted once? How do we know, that we got you the right ballot? How, all the things, what's involved in that. And so we try to do a lot of outreach so that people will have the opportunity to know what we do, so they know what questions to ask, and then also so that they can feel good about the transparency that our office is providing.
Well, that is great. And we would love to take you up on that offer. Thank you so very much. And I just want to personally thank all the poll workers and volunteers for all that you do, because I do know how hard it is in that long day, because I heard about it. I didn't do it, but some of the women that were in our organization definitely expressed that they were stronger together and they enjoyed their day, but it was a full day. So I personally want to thank you guys for that.
Yeah. Another way, if I could, to get involved for, because I know you deal with young women, as well, is we have an internship program, and it's a paid internship during the summer, while the students are not in school. We have high school as well as college students, and so they can apply through April 14th.
Okay.
So, we want to get people to then you're working in, and the way we do it is we have you work in every department. So you're exposed a little bit to everything we do. And then at the end, you sort of choose the department that really fits best for you. And we try to make it a good match, and so that you can get a little bit more in depth in that department. So that's another way, is for people to really understand what we do, is to come, take part in one of our paid internship programs.
Oh, that is great. We're going to get the information out, because I just thought of several young ladies who I know have mentor who are in Florida State and FAMU who will be interested in something like that.
We would love it. We would love that. And then we also, for your college students, we have the Florida Supervisors of Elections as an organization. We have a scholarship. Now the deadline's coming up very quickly. It's March 10th. So, we have but we can get online and look at ours, because Palm Beach County is allowed to submit one applicant. So we get that deadline to apply March 10th. we'll go through, we'll choose the applicant to submit from Palm Beach County, and they give out at least 3 scholarships. And so those are $1,200 scholarships, and they can be in political science, public affairs, I think business administration, journalism, communications. There's a lot of different majors that are preferred. And so, yeah, so if you've got students who are interested in a scholarship as well, please make sure that they get that application in.
All right. Well, this is some great information. Thank you so much for sharing. Our
Absolutely.
last question we have to touch upon, this is March and it's Women's History Month, as I mentioned before. Congratulations on being nominated for the Giraffe Award through the Women's
Thank you.
Chamber of Palm Beach County.
Thank
So
you.
tell us a little bit about what does that mean for you, Women's History Month and being a woman leader here in Palm Beach County?
Yeah, I mean, I love March. It's such a great time, to recognize the achievements of so many incredible women, throughout American history. Plus, locally we have, incredible women who focus on not only their own success, but on making other women successful and helping to reach out to whether it's girls or young women just entering the workforce or people who are interested in a particular philanthropy. I love that women reach out to other women to, really try to help. And that's just so critical to us continuing. So I love that we have a month that focuses and recognizes that people do that. Again, exercising your constitutional right to vote. That's really important for women. Women weren't always able to vote. Now they are. And so we want to make sure that everybody, but make sure the women are getting out there and that they are exercising their right to vote. I mean, we have women in elected office now up to the highest levels, including a vice president currently. Right. So, I mean, and that wouldn't happen if women weren't voting, right? So we want to make sure that we are getting, everybody out to vote, but really get our women out to vote. And then I know everybody does their own part internally. We have mentorship programs here. I'm involved in some mentorship programs myself. We mentor women here. I have a lot of women in senior leadership positions here at the elections office. Didn't hire them for that or put them in there because they're women. Hired them because they were the best person for the job, just happened to be a woman.
That's
and
right.
we talked about earlier, women are really good at multitasking.
I agree. Well, thank you so very much for joining me today. And
Thank you, Rhonda.
no problem. At the end of this podcast, you'll find more information about the upcoming municipal election on March 14th.
Great. Thank you. Thanks so much for helping us get the information out.
No, we appreciate you.